my friends, I'm Miss Jennifer. Welcome back to Sunday School. So today, what are we going to be talking about? Well, today we're going to be talking about that we live as Jesus taught us. And he gave us lots of ways that we could live really good life. But we're going to listen to a Charlie and Lola story to understand a little bit about why we should follow the rules that we've been taught. Okay, so this is called Whoops, but It Wasn't Me. I have this little sister, Lola. She is small and very funny. Sometimes Lola likes to play with my things, and usually I don't mind. She's got a little sister. One day I came home from school with the best thing I have ever made, and Lola says, "Ooh." I say, "It took me 10 days, 3 hours, and 40 minutes to make the outside, which is called the superstructure." What did he make? Made a rocket, right? And it looks like he won first prize for that, so it's really special. It's built from 3 cereal boxes, 10 yogurt pots, 28 bottle tops, 157 candy wrappers, and a roll of extra wide tin foil, 2 whole tubs of glue, 3 pots of paint, and half a roll of sticky tape. So that took him a long time to make, didn't it? There was a lot of work went into that. Lola says, "Ooh." I say, "Don't touch it." This rocket is really breakable. I don't mind you playing with most of my things, but you must double, triple promise me you will never play with this. "Let's play something else then," says Lola. I say, "I've got to see Marv." But what am I going to do, said Lola. And I say, "Why don't you play with Soren Lawrenson?" Soren Lawrenson is Lola's imaginary friend. No one can see him except for Lola. And Lola says, "Yes, Soren Lawrenson always wants to play with me." Okay, so now the rocket is there and Charlie is leaving and Lola is playing. What do you think's going to happen? I don't know. "Hello, Soren Lawrenson," says Lola. "Charlie's gone to see Marv, so we can play a very good game, can't we?" And Soren Lawrenson says, "Yes, with those 2 laughing hyenas that are brothers and twins." They're friends of theirs. Lola says, "Yes, and Ellie, the tiny small elephant." "Where will the adventure be?" Soren Lawrenson says. "In the place where all the animals live." And Lola says, "In a place a long way away." So look, we have the laughing hyena twins that they're their little friends. And we have a teeny weeny elephant and a plane and a car. And her imaginary friend. That's why he's great, because he's imaginary. "Oh no," said Soren Lawrenson. "Ellie is really sad because he doesn't like the hyenas laughing at him and he's very far from home." "Those hyena brothers twins are meanies, aren't they?" said Lola. "What are we going to do?" I sense they're going to do something they shouldn't. "We can't leave Ellie all sad," says Lola. "He must go back to his nice friends in Elephant Land, but how are we going to get him there?" And then Soren Lawrenson points to the rocket. Lola says, "But that is extremely breakable. My special rocket. And Charlie said that we should not ever, never touch or play with it." "That's true," said Soren Lawrenson. "But I think what Charlie meant was that if we did play with it, we must be extra specially careful not to break it." So Lola reaches up to get the rocket. Do you think that's what Charlie meant? I don't think so either. I think he said what he meant. Soren Lawrenson says, "Remember to be extra special careful, Lola." And Lola says, "I am being extra specially careful." And then she says, "Whoops." Lola looks at the pieces of the broken rocket. "You know, I think when things are broken, they can always be put back together and made like new. If we both act normally, Lola, then Charlie will never know we did it," said Soren Lawrenson. And Lola whispers, "No, he'll never know." Okay, I think there's been some bad decisions, right? So was it a good decision for Lola to touch the rocket? No, I don't think so. And now that she's broken the rocket, is it a good decision for her to not talk to Charlie about it? I don't think so either. When I get home, I shout, "My rocket! Lola, did you break my rocket?" And Lola says, "I didn't break your rocket, Charlie. You absolutely told me not to never touch it, ever. And I say, you are telling a big lie, Lola, and you know it. Don't tell Mom, said Lola. Wait, Charlie, I just have to quickly talk to Soren Lawrenson. So she got caught right away, right? Because she didn't do the right thing, and she made some bad decisions. Lola says, do you think we should tell Charlie what really happened? And Soren Lawrenson says, maybe we should tell him that somebody else broke the rocket. And Lola says, oh yes, because it's nearly true. So Lola comes to talk to me. Charlie, Soren Lawrenson and me have got something very extremely important to tell you. And I say, what? Lola says, it is the real true story of who broke your special rocket. Well, me and Soren Lawrenson were playing in our room, Charlie, and Ellie needed to go in your rocket, and I didn't think that it was a good idea, but Ellie wouldn't listen, so we all squeezed into the rocket so that we could go and find all Ellie's nice friends. It was a real squish, but we did it. She's blaming it on her toy elephant. I don't think Charlie's going to believe her. What do you think? Nope. We took off higher and higher around the whole world, and then we went down, 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 down. And when we landed in a faraway elephant land, and the rocket just fell to pieces, and that's what happened. And I say, right, I'm going to tell Mom. Oh dear, I don't think he believed us, says Soren Lawrenson. Lola says, I think I have to tell Charlie the truth, but will it make Charlie like me again? Soren Lawrenson says, yes, as long as you say sorry too. So, is Lola going to tell the truth, do you think? And then what she's asking for Charlie is that Charlie will forgive her. Lola knocks at the door. Soren Lawrenson really wants to say Charlie for breaking your rocket. Wants to say sorry for breaking your rocket, Charlie? So I just shut the door. Then there's another knock, and Lola says, it was me who broke the rocket. I was playing with Ellie, and just as I was getting your extremely special rocket down from the really high shelf, it broke into lots of pieces. I am really ever so very sorry for breaking your extremely special rocket, Charlie. Do you think she really is sorry? I think she's really sorry too. Do you think Charlie should forgive her? What do you think? Now, to forgive means to tell Lola, it's okay, Lola. I forgive you. I feel the same way about you as I did before. What do you think? And I say, are you really, Lola? And Lola says, really, really, truly sorry. And she does look really very sorry. So I say, that's okay. At least you've told the truth. So Charlie forgave her, didn't he? And Lola sees the rocket. You fixed it, Charlie, she said. And I say, yes, Lola, I fixed it. I like it, says Lola. And I say, don't touch it. The end. So I think Lola learned a lot of things in that story. She learned to follow the rules that Charlie had given her because Charlie had said, please don't touch it. And Lola touched it anyway, and bad things happened, right? Charlie didn't want her to touch it because he didn't want bad things to happen. But Lola just touched it anyway, and bad things happened. And then Lola learned that you can't lie about things like that. You have to tell the truth. And then when she told the truth, Charlie forgave her. Which, when we tell God the truth and when we tell Jesus the truth, God forgives us. The same way when we take our mistakes to Him, He forgives us. And so that's what I think Charlie and Lola learned today. So let's see what our gospel reading has to say today. This is a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. After John was arrested, Jesus went to Galilee, and he told the good news that comes from God. He said, the time has come. God's kingdom will soon be here. Turn back to God and believe in the good news. As Jesus was walking along the shore of the Lake Galilee, he saw Simon and his brother Andrew. They were fishermen, and they were casting their nets into the lake. Jesus said to them, come with me. I will teach you how to bring in people instead of fish. Right then the two brothers dropped their nets and went with him. Jesus walked on and soon saw James and John, the sons of Zebedee. They were in a boat mending their nets. At once Jesus asked them to come with him. They left their father in the boat with their hired workers and went with him. The Gospel of the Lord. So they saw that how special Jesus was. And Jesus said that I will make you fishers of men. What does that mean? Well, that means that he was going to have them preach the good news, the gospel, and spread that to all the men. So instead of casting their nets for fish, they were going to be spreading the good news and have people get that. And so instead of people eating fish eating worms, people were going to be receiving the gospel. That's what Jesus meant about that. And who do we have today that is like that? Who are the fishers of men today who spread the word about the gospel, who try to teach people about Jesus? Well, we have a lot of people who do that. We have our priests and our nuns, and we have missionaries. We have all sorts of people who are doing that, and we should say a prayer for them to help them in what they're doing, because what they're doing is teaching a lot of people the good news, what's good and about Jesus, which brings them great joy. So that is something very special. So what are we going to do for our craft today? So I thought we would do something along the line of being a fisherman, of learning how to fish. So I drew a fish. It's not a very good fish, but I drew one. And so maybe your mom or dad could draw a fish for you on a piece of paper. And then I'm going to cut the fish out. Now you can decorate your fish however you want to. You can put googly eyes on it. You can make it different colors. I'm just having a little pink fish today because I don't have a lot of time. But if I had more time, I would put a lot of decoration on it. So here's our fish. There he is. And I'm going to tape to the front of my fish just a regular old paper clip. I'm using a big size one. And I'm going to tape that right to the front where the mouth should be. See? And then I took a straw, and you can use a straw, or you can use a stick if you have one, or you can use like a tongue depressor, and I tied a piece of string on it, and at the bottom I tied another paper clip, and I just unfolded it so it's like a hook. And then you can take turns trying to hook, and I probably won't be able to get this, and almost trying to hook my fish. So you can stand above it, and I'm just going to help it right now because we only have a little bit of time. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to help it a little bit more. But the idea is to get it on the hook, and then you can lift it up. And that's the craft for today. So before we go, let's hear a song from Mr. Martinez.
Hi, everybody. We're going to do a song called Christ is Enough. We got Susanna here and the mysterious Dr. Trent over here playing the awesome piano. So this song is called Christ is Enough, and it goes, Christ is enough for me. Christ is enough for me. Everything I need is in you. Everything I need. All right, and this is the part I really want you guys to get in, okay? You're going to start doing a little running, okay? I have decided to follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back. And then it goes, the cross before me, the world behind me, no turning back, no turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me, no turning back, no turning back. All right, let's try to sing it on, okay? Christ is enough for me. Christ is enough for me. Everything I need is in you. Everything I need. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. I've decided. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. Cross before me. The cross before me. The world behind me. No turning back. No turning back. The cross before me. The world behind me. No turning back. No Christ is enough. Christ is enough for me. Christ is enough for me. Everything I need is in you. Everything I need. Now sing it. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back. No turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back. No turning back. Amen. I think I got it.
That was great. I hope you guys all sang along. Thank you for joining me today in Sunday School. Before we go, let's say our prayer. Now we're going to say our special prayer for all of the priests and the missionaries who are spreading the good news, who are being fishers of men. So let's start how we start, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Repeat after me. Dear God, thank you for giving us special people like priests and missionaries, and help them in their work. And thank you for bringing us together today. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. That's all for today, my friends. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.